Day. This is Janine Lewis. I am here to introduce you to Professor Kennedy Chinyawa, a great exponent and knowledgeable about the creative industry. So we're very excited that he's part of our department and that he can talk to us today about the creative industries and put it into perspective. Good afternoon, Prof. Chinyawa.
Good afternoon, Prof. How are you?
Good, thank you. Welcome, and thank you for agreeing to do this.
Thank you so much, and thank you to all the students and everybody who's going to listen to our recording.
Great. Here we go.
Okay. Right. So we can start, eh?
Yes, you're welcome.
Okay. This presentation is entitled From Creative Arts to Creative Industries, the need for a paradigm shift in arts education. Basically, the presentation, I argue that it is time that we shift from the current creative arts, where we just teach drama as drama, film as film, fine arts as fine arts, technical production as technical production, and start thinking in terms of the creative industry, something that is entrepreneurship, something that has enterprise, education in it. The basic argument in this paper is that we need to now re-envision as the current existing arts education curriculum. Why? Because we find that the arts education, our arts education graduates are not getting employment. It's not just a question of looking for employment, but we want an education where students can employ themselves, where students can look forward to not only being employed, but also being the employers as well, managing their own creativity in an economic and entrepreneurial way. Basically, that's what I'm going to argue in this presentation. So let's go to the PowerPoint. Right. Okay. In this PowerPoint, my argument is, as I introduced the basic argument at the beginning, that there are current challenges with the current arts education program, which I think is an inadequate capacity for adaptation. In other words, we are just teaching arts education, full stop. Nothing else that will enable students to be more creative than just having, artistic skills. But we are now living in a knowledge-based economy, a knowledge-driven economy, where society's worldview is changed. As Sayers and Schneider have argued, any lasting and forward-looking arts education program must consider the current digital revolution. While oil was the fuel of the 20th century industrial economy, creativity is the fuel of the current 21st century creative economy. In other words, we are living in a different world altogether. There are now certain curricula that are getting just outdated because things have changed. So we need no longer to focus on what students should know, just dishing out knowledge to students. Rather, we should focus on how students should use what they know into productive values. So it's no longer in the matter of acquiring conventional qualifications, but we now need to educate for creativity, as Lead Vita says. We now need we now need to know that tomorrow's engine of growth will be based on how an economy creates, applies, and extracts value from its intellectual capital. It's time that we invent. It's time that we become more resourceful than just acquiring artistic skills. That's the basic argument. Now, let's go to the next subtopic, which I'm calling the creative industries alternative. What are the creative industries? It is argued that the Department of Culture, Media and Sport in the UK is the one that actually originated the term creative industries. But there have been a lot of contenders for this term, like in Australia, they also claim that they started the creative industries. But let's just go to the definition that is given by the DCMS. And they say those industries with their origin in individual creativity, skill and talent, which have a potential for job and wealth creation through the generation and exploitation of intellectual property. In other words, what you create as an artist should also have some economic potential, should be job creating, it should be wealth creating, it should have some intellectual capital attached to it. You should claim something to what you create so that it comes forth with some economic value. That's when it becomes creative industries. So the creative industries now lie at the interface with culture. Something we use culture to create the creative industries, if I can call it that way. Creativity, economics, and technology. All these are the creative industries lie at the interface of all these areas. It has the capacity to create intellectual capital, generate income, produce economic growth, and that is coming from the DCMS definition. It lies at the creative industries lies at the crossroads of arts and culture, innovation and technology, intellectual capital, and business enterprise. In other words, they are wide-ranging. They are not limited in scope. If you have artistic skills and full stop, nothing else, you have there's no innovative technology, there's no intellectual capital attached to those skills. There's no business value or enterprise attached to those skills. That is the problem or the challenge that we are facing with the creative arts. So creativity is fundamental to understanding the creative industries. It involves artistic creativity, scientific creativity, economic creativity. So it is basically, in short, it involves generating and transforming ideas into goods or into products and services with economic value. E.g., when you come up with a fine art product, a sculpture, that is one of the good examples of a good that is a part of the creative industries. The performing arts, the things like the theater, anything that involves performing comes into the sector of services. But how can you transform these into something that is one culture or within cultural origin turned into economic value? I think that's where the creative industries are coming in. With the next subtopic is the need for a paradigm shift, where we are saying that let's get the creative industries to the center of the new development paradigm. And what is this new development paradigm? Where previously disconnected creative arts sectors like the performing arts can be transformed, can be digitized, can be technologized. You know, you no longer just talk about performing or acting on stage, but you are talking about, you know, creating something that is industry specific in while you are on the stage, so that acting itself becomes a form of industry. Capable of turning artists into lifelong learning creatives. That's what the creative industries are we are doing, or that's what we want the creative industries to do, to turn artists into lifelong learning creatives, not just actors, or not just, you know, producers. We want actors and something else. As education should now be framed into what has been called the Protean career model by Ruth Bristock. This is an Australian lady. Protean career model, what is it? What is the Protean career model? Let's go to the next slide. The term protean has been derived from the Greek god Proteus, who could easily change his shape and disposition and character. So protean artists are self-driven, they are versatile, they are boundaryless, or embedded, as somebody said just below that. Protean artists have qualities of embeddedness. They are no longer discipline specific. They are non-discipline specific, meaning that you know, if you are an actor, for instance, there's nothing to prevent you from joining the banking industry. If you are a jeweler, for instance, there's nothing to prevent you from joining a different industry altogether. In other words, your skills, your creative skills can get you there. You are no longer bounded to one specific profession, but you can fit into different professions, thus being boundaryless. So Bridgestock says the contemporary shift towards an increasingly globalized creative economy, where creativity and innovation are highly prized. In that creative economy, creative workers are now expected to possess capabilities which are of great benefit both within and outside the arts. You are not confined to one area of artistic skills. You are an embedded creative. You are boundaryless. You are versatile. That's what we're arguing here. So let's see if we can get some case studies. I once went to Queensland University of Technology in Australia with the previous dean, and there we were shown what they teach in the Bachelor of Creative Industry program. And we were told that right from the outset, at first year level, they teach the students how to you know, attain a protean career identity. Don't be confined to one identity. How they need to approach the arts from a value chain perspective. In other words, your profession, if you are a musician, don't just be confined to just playing music. Why not go further and be an entrepreneur of the music? So you also learn the culture of entrepreneurship. They also get them into industry. I'm happy that our university, our faculty is already introduced the work integrated learning. That is a plus for our faculty in terms of the creative industries. And career branding. In other words, you begin to see where you are heading to. You package your skills in such a way that you are branding it into so many different shapes. You are no longer unemployable. You are now you are acquiring an education that is that makes you employable. Student employability is the focus of the creative industries curriculum. Then they showed us at QUT their postgraduate program, where the graduating students are actually running arts incubators. There was a building specifically set aside for students to practice their skills at the creative industries in these arts incubators. And once the students can actually sustain themselves, they leave the university and and form their own companies elsewhere, and other students come in to take their place in the arts incubator. The postgraduate program therefore is thriving in terms of being creative industries embedded. There are publications by postgraduate students on the creative economy. There's an interface between the university, industry, and government, what they call the triple helix model. And the faculty has been transformed into a cultural precinct. In other words, everything that you see at that faculty, you are told that it is the students who have actually produced what you are seeing. So it has been turned into a cultural precinct by the students themselves. The next slide. This is the last slide on the implications of the curriculum, creative industries driven curriculum. What are the implications of what we are talking about? This new creative industries curriculum. We are arguing for a curriculum which can increase graduate employability through embedded skills training. We are seeing our students coming back saying they are not employed. Why? Because maybe they went through an inadequate, not well fully equipped. They were not fully equipped for the world into which they are being thrown into. We want an education that has graduate employability right from first year. Develop career self-management skills in that particular type of education. Can you manage your skills yourself? Adopt a creative enterprise education. In other words, an entrepreneurial education. An education where you can package your skills yourself. And there's more focus on the right sort of graduates who are suitable for the ever-changing creative economy. We should be tired of seeing our students who have graduated coming back after 3-4 years saying they have not yet got employed. Why can't they employ themselves? Because their education did not equip them for that type of world. So in short, DCMS, this UK department, says educational institutions should develop a constant supply of creative and innovative graduates who will form the backbone of the creative industry sector and help to constantly reinvent it. In other words, the creative graduates are always joining this particular creative industry economy, and they will no longer be unemployed. So in the end, what we are going to witness in our universities is an education approach that can deliver owner managers, self-employers, protean careerists, and embedded creatives, people who cannot just fit into one career, but can be embedded in different careers. Why can't an actor fit into banking, fit into mining, fit into any other sort of business? In other words, we should equip our students with this boundaryless creative industries education. Thank you very much. Hello, Prof.
Hello, thank you so much, Prof. That's fantastic. Thank you for your passion and your drive. That is so exciting.
Did it come out, the argument?
It did.